Okay, good afternoon. Good to see everyone. Before we get started, I would like to say congratulations to Lou Coach-Haver and the Kansas City Royals for winning the World Series championship. I believe he was the winning pitcher, and I'm a big baseball fan, and so I'd like to say congratulations to him on being a world champion today. Going back, revisiting Saturday night and then moving on to the next challenge, I thought we really played complementary football. I thought all three phases really complemented each other. We were able to generate explosive plays in a number of areas. We were able to control the field position. Third downs, I thought, in terms of situational football, we did a good job there prior to running the clock out in the fourth quarter. We were 9 out of 14 offensively on third down conversions, and then defensively, we were able to get off the field as well. The other thing I thought is Kentucky was a big play offense, a quick strike offense, and you take away the one big play that they had, we really limited the momentum plays. And when you go on the road, one of the key factors of being able to win on the road is to eliminate momentum plays and not let the crowd get into it. I thought our players had a great approach, a great business-like approach. So now it's what we do with that moving forward to the next challenge. South Carolina comes in here, a very hungry football team. Coach Elliott has done a great job of really infusing energy, excitement. They're playing loose, and you can see it. They're a hungry football team. We all know what Farrah Cooper brings to the table. He's one of the most dynamic and explosive players, not only in our conference, but in the entire country. Defensively, with Coach Hoke, you see some different things schematically. They're playing with a high level of energy again. Big physical up front. Have the luxury of playing man-to-man in the back end. So it's going to be a great challenge for our football team this week to continue to prepare and continue to improve. We're not anywhere where we need to be in terms of a finished product. When you watch the video, it's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. And we have to continue to focus on the small details, from our fundamentals to doing things right in different situations. But again, looking forward to going back to practice today, so I'll answer any questions.
Seth and then Steve.
Coach, you talk about how invaluable in-game repetitions are. When you have a big lead on a team, how do you go about making the decision of when to put in the backup quarterback and what to do with him? Do you let him run the offense as normal? There was 36 seconds left in the third quarter, up 52-21. Dobbs played 2 more series. So what goes into that decision?
Well, there's a lot that goes into it, and that's something, the flavor of the game, the feel for the game, but also if you look at the comebacks in all of college football, not just this year, but throughout, the last few years, as a head coach and you're responsible for everything, you never feel comfortable until the clock runs out, and you never assume anything, and it's a fine line, but we have confidence, in the players that went in there. We have tremendous confidence in Quentin Dormady. He continues to get better. But again, it's a feel thing, but you never feel comfortable when you're responsible for everything, and you just have to look at college football and the amount of comebacks that come back, and especially when you're playing a team like Kentucky that's a quick strike offense that has the athletes they can score at any given time. You never take anything for granted.
Steve, Heather, and then Nick.
What's the difference you've seen in your pass rush between defensive line, Marine and Barnett these last few games, and just how much of an adjustment process was there for those guys after Kirk got hurt, just in terms of growing from that point?
Anytime you don't have Kurt Magid on the field for you, it really hurts you because he meant so much to us. I think our players played off of his energy. They played off of his leadership. What I see is a transformational change that's occurring in terms of leadership. We have other individuals stepping up, and to Kurt Magid's credit, he's actually mentoring and guiding some individuals, and he's kind of force-feeding them. It's like, we had a little side friendly bet about making Jalen Reeves-Maben stand up and talk to the team, and then we critiqued him right in front of him. And again, it's just part of that evolution of leadership where Kurt has done a good job of almost now kind of behind the scenes type leadership, which has been great to see. But anytime, you don't have him, it hurts you not only on the field but off the field. But, it's those individuals stepping up. Corey Marine, Derek Barnett, they have great pride in their performance. I think they're getting off on the football. Their stance and starts, the ability to reduce their surface, use their hands, and we've generated 3rd and long situations. And there isn't a lot of mystery when you get into 3rd and long situations. When you get into anywhere from 3rd to 3rd and short to 3rd and 4 to 6, there's a little bit of mystery behind the play calling. But when you get 3rd and long situations, you make it a draw, you make it screens, or drop back pass. So I think that's really aided them too, being ahead of the sticks defensively as well.
Butch, last week you were asked about Evan Berry, if he was one of the best kick returners that you had ever coached, and you mentioned Antonio Brown. I'm wondering now if you're ready to say that maybe he's eclipsing Antonio Brown.
Well, he's getting close, and he has a great drive to be the best, and can't say enough for him in what he brings. And special teams is either the first play of offense or the first play of defense, but also I think in Evan would be the first to tell you as well, it's the other 10 individuals on the football field. They're taking great pride in their performance. They're taking great pride in their fundamentals. We work it every single day, and they have great expectations and they have great confidence, and they're doing a great job with that. Now, obviously, being a great returner is a skill set. You have to have great instincts, but also whether it's Cam, whether it's Alvin, whether it's Evan, I think they'd be the first to tell you that they couldn't do it by themselves, and those other 10 individuals are doing a great job as well.
Butch, what have you seen from them specifically on film since that change? Sometimes the team just needs a new voice, I think was the reason for the coaching change there. What have you seen from them before coaching change and then after?
Well, they're running the same things schematically, and Coach Spurrier's a legend. He's done a great job. I think Coach Elliott has come in and just given them, a change, giving them some energy. Probably not worried about making mistakes. I've tried to kind of put myself in their frame of mind of how would you handle it, and I think the coaching staff has done a great job of really handling probably a very, very difficult situation. And Coach Spurrier is one of the best coaches to have ever coached the game of football. But I think they've done a great job with that, and I think their players have responded. They're playing with great effort, they're playing with great pride, they're playing with intensity, and you can see that.
John, Jimmy, Mike, and Wes.
What did you see out of Micah Abernathy when you went back and looked at the film there in the nickel spot? Will that be an open competition this week? And then if Jay-Sean can't go, how do you balance between either Matt Crowder or Jack Jones?
Well, first of all, Micah Abernathy is one of those freshmen that has continued to get better and better and better, and you can see it in his style of play. You can really see it in his overall playing speed. It's amazing. We always talk about not letting the mind tie the feet up, and he's becoming more and more comfortable. He's playing at a much more higher speed level, and been really, really proud of him and his continued growth and development. So just like every week, he will compete again with Malik for the nickel spot, and we'll see how that goes. But Micah has gained valuable game experience, and you can see him now starting to play a lot quicker. He's more decisive in his decisions, and he had 2 critical blocks on Evan Berry's kickoff return where he had great judgment. Micah's a smart player, but he had great judgment on who to block, and as the off returner, you have to rely on your instincts and your judgment because you don't have a particular person to block, and you have to make full speed decisions, and he made 2 full speed decisions that really allowed Evan to get to the end zone. So we will compete for that spot just like every week, but I think he's getting better and better. In terms of the offensive line situation, we'll know more about Jay-Sean. It's no worse than what it's been in the past with his ankle. So we anticipate him being probable, being ready to go, and that's a tribute to him. We thought Matt Crowder did some really good things for us at the left guard position. And then when Jack went in there, Jack did some good things at the right guard position too. And the other individual who has just been a flat-out warrior for us, who gives tremendous effort, he's playing his best football, He's given everything that he has is Dylan Wiseman. I thought Dylan played exceptionally hard, played very, very well Saturday night, and we really like his style of play. But we thought Mac performed very well. We thought Jack did some good things when he was in there as well. So it makes for a great week of competition and a great luxury for us right now, because you know that is a position that's kind of been inundated a little bit with injuries, just like our defensive line.
Coach, I have two questions. First off, on the Emmanuel Mosley targeting, did he play that the way he is coached to play it?
He played it about as well as you could possibly play it. If there was a coaching point, you would tell him to wrap up, to try to wrap. But, you know, he hit below. He hit with his shoulder pad, did not lead with his helmet. So the one coaching point would be to wrap, not just, you know, that would be the big thing. But he did not launch himself into the defender.
And a follow-up on that, I'm sure you talked to the SEC office. What explanation did you get from them?
Well, you know, again, some things are privacy, you know, but we did have dialogue. Right now, we're trying to figure out, I don't believe there is an appeal process, but we're trying to do anything and everything. But, you know, it's a decision that they made, and you have to respect that decision and move on. And, you know, the SEC has done a great job of getting immediate feedback to us and responding, and, you know, they've done a great job in that regard. So I'll know a little bit more as the week progresses with that, and that's really all I can say.
Coach, you kind of touched on this earlier with the defensive line question, but do you feel like your defense has been more aggressive lately? It seems like they've impacted the quarterback more, and what do you attribute that to?
We have impacted the quarterback a little bit more, and I think it comes down to when Steve brought up the play at the defensive end positions, you know, and then we still need to continue to get more push internally from the defensive tackle position, but we're using our hands better, we're getting off, we're staying ahead of the chains. When we bring some five-man pressures, we're able to get home. You know, we had one instance on a big play given up that we weren't able to get home on. We gave up a big play in that, but I just think their overall relentless approach has really helped.
Patrick and Wes, sorry, Wes.
Was just curious if you had we haven't asked about Jason Kroom in a while. How is his recovery coming along? And I guess Kurt, for that matter, and Marquez North as well.
Yeah, Marquez North, just a game time decision. He couldn't go. He practiced all week, you know, just sore and stiff, and we're going to do some different things this week with him to try to get him ready to go, because we need him. You know, what we're asking our receiver corps to do right now, I don't think there's another school in the country that's asking as much of a group as we are in terms of lack of numbers. You know, and you look at the game that Josh Malone had, and Josh Smith has given everything that he has. I thought Von Pearson played maybe his best football game of the year last week. So we're going to need these individuals in moving forward. Jonathan Johnson, we're moving all around. You know, Jawan Jennings continues to improve and get better and better and better. And, you know, all that entire receiving corps has done a good job. And it's really a lack of numbers, and we have to recruit, we have to continue to develop, but that's kind of Marquez's situation. Kurt Magid, I believe, has an MRI at the end of this week, so we'll know a little bit more in terms of where he's at and if there is a timetable for him to be back. So I'll know a little bit more later in the week how that progresses. Jason Kroom, I'll know a little bit more today in terms of his status. I would say he's still probably doubtful for this game.
You got Patrick, Paul, Dustin, and Troy.
With Jay Sean, how much is that, I guess, injury maybe hurting his development a little bit, or just because obviously he's a kid with a great future in front of him. It looks like it's been a frustration.
Well, I give Jay Sean Robertson a lot of credit. He's battled through this. He's maintained a great positive attitude. He's a great character individual. His mom has done a tremendous job with him. Just can't say enough about him. He's battled and battled and battled. It's the same nagging injury. Unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time, gets landed on it again. But it's no worse than where it was, and he'll do his due diligence. And you talk about development, you need to practice, and his practice time has been limited because of the injuries. But to his credit, when he's played well. And I can't wait to get a healthy Jay-Sean Robertson back because the sky's the limit for him.
Patrick, Paul.
But you talked about the guard situation moving forward. I guess Jack looked like he played pretty well against Georgia and Alabama. I guess what went into the decision to go with Mac when Jay-Sean went down on the first shot?
Well, again, it's just the overall development. It's your practice, and it's the grading of the games, and it's nothing against Jack. Jack has done a good job, but you guys don't see what we see every day. And Jack's a good football player, and Jack's going to be a great player. I love him to death, and he understands the things he needs to work on. Sometimes it's just from a strength standpoint of being a true freshman, and Mac has the experience. Mac has done some good things and performed very well when he's gone in there. But again, it's good to have the luxury of being able to play some of those individuals.
Butch, do you think it takes time for coaches when they come into a new situation to kind of feel out what they have in terms of players? And I guess specifically, did it take some time for Mike to kind of understand what Dobbs' skill set is, what he can do, and how to coach him, and to result in the play calling we've kind of seen these last couple of weeks?
The play calling hasn't changed. The execution has changed. Our players are executing right now at a high level, but the play calling's been there all year. And Mike DeBoer is an experienced veteran that has coached at all levels. And I do think it's more learning your players and their skill sets, but that occurred at a relatively early stage when he came in here. So, and I think it's the players earning trust in terms of who to throw the ball to, what plays to call in critical situations, and vice versa. But the play calling really hasn't changed. Our players right now are playing with a lot of confidence. They're executing, and we're staying ahead of the chains, and that really helps as well. But again, this week we'll be challenged with a very good South Carolina defense and a good football team coming in here.
Coach, I want to ask a little bit more about the blocking on the return game, basically. You talked about just fundamentally, what's working well fundamentally? What are these guys doing really well? And is there anybody in particular that's been exceptional just in terms of blocking and setting up these returns?
Well, I think it's just the skill set. For instance, when you take about blocking on a kickoff return, it's the hardest skill set in all of football. If you look at a frontline player, he's got to drop full speed 30 to 35 yards and run at an angle and sometimes turn his back to the individual that he has to block, who has 30 to 35 yards of running full start ahead of them. And then you got to come speed to power, and you got to block him. It's almost the equivalent of blocking a runaway refrigerator coming down the hill. So there's technique that goes involved in it in terms of bracing yourself, speed to power, understanding leverage, and then running the outside number and ripping and running. And it's a skill set that we practice every day. And our players have done a very good job of that. Same thing on punt return. You have to win at the line of scrimmage. You have to get in return phase. You got to understand all the different techniques that are involved. There's so much technique work that goes into playing and winning special teams. It's all technique oriented, and it's a want to. And it's a one-on-one matchup. And that's what I love about special teams, is they're one-on-one matchups. It's me against you. And it's taking pride in winning your one-on-one matchups. And we actually list that. We list their win-loss record. They understand that. And our players have done a very good job with that. There's probably so many players, I would be remiss if I miss some of them, because they're giving everything. I talked about Micah. As the off returner, Cortez McDowell has been a staple for us on special teams. You look at some of the youngsters, Austin Smith, John Kelly, these are all freshmen on there. And you look at Gavin Bryant. Gavin Bryant has finally found a role on his football team, and he's helping us win. And then you have individuals like Justin Martin, who's not only playing corner now, but he's on special teams. We all know about Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings possesses great instincts to get to the football. Some of the things he does on our kickoff team, our kickoff cover team, is remarkable. Just because he understands how to set players up, he understands how to leverage the football. He has a relentless approach. So, everyone on those teams are doing a great job with that. And they take pride in their performance. That's probably the biggest thing, is understanding your role and taking great pride in understanding your role.
Let's finish up with Troy, Danny, Jimmy, and Hubs.
Justin Martin and Emmanuel Mosley have kind of rotated at the outside corner, with Mosley being out for the first half. Do you just let Justin play out there, or do you try to find another guy to rotate in with him?
It's kind of, it is what it is. There's no waiver wires in college football. We're really down at the corner position. We lack a lot of depth there, and our players have done a great job with it. Just like at the receiver position, our corners have been warriors all year long. So, you know, Justin's been a warrior. Justin's been nicked up and, you know, through some injuries that started in training camp, and it's great to have him back healthy now. But, you know, from him playing corner, from him being on special teams, you know, a lot of these individuals, they've done a great job.
Coach, I know you spent some time with him a couple years ago in Bristol, but what's your reaction to Frank Beamer stepping down, and what's your relationship like nowadays with Babcock?
Well, I've enjoyed really building a great relationship with Coach Beamer. And as a coach in this profession and growing up in this profession, you try to, you know, research and find out about individuals and successful individuals. And Frank Beamer was at the top of my list. He's one that I really researched and tried to spend a lot of time with that. And then I want to say it was our last year at Cincinnati. We played Virginia Tech in Washington, D.C., and had a time a little bit to really get to know him. And then probably one of the greatest thrills I've had in all of coaching is he came out with a book, and he mentioned myself and our football team in his book when we played them. And he autographed it to me, and he said, Butch, I meant what I said in this book. Good luck at Tennessee. And that's something that I have sitting on my desk right now. And so I have tremendous amount of respect. It's very unfortunate because you know, college football is losing one of the greatest individuals of all time and one of the greatest coaches of all time. And it shows too when you give a coach longevity and you give a coach an opportunity to really instill his program. And we live in an instant gratification society where everyone wants things now, but if you really want to build something special, you give a coach an opportunity in a long period of time, and you see what happens. And Virginia Tech is like that. In terms of my relationship with Babcock, you know, we worked together at West Virginia. He was the athletic director when he got hired when I was at Cincinnati. He's a good friend of mine, and I know he'll do a good job there in finding a replacement for Coach Beamer.
Jimmy and Hubs.
But Josh Dobbs breaks an awful lot of tackles. Is he more elusive, or is he stronger than he looks? Why do you think it is that he's able to break so many tackles?
Good question. I think first of all, he has very good instincts. He's able to make individuals miss. He understands how to set them up. I think he runs hard. I think he runs strong. But I think a lot of it is instincts, and he's done a real good job with that.
But you guys have 25 offensive plays of 25 yards or more. I think 11 rushes of 25 yards or more. You've talked all season about the need for more splash plays. What's your team goal for those number of plays, and how close are you to being there to being, quote, explosive offense?
We don't have a goal. We just understand we need to have big explosive plays. Our goal is to create one-on-one matchups and then let recruiting take over, and it's me against you. And our players have done a good job with that. It was finally great to get Jalen in the open field on a screen pass. You can see what he can do when he gets some open space. Obviously, Elvin's done a great job, and then, you know, finally getting the deep ball going with Josh Malone. I thought Josh went up and really played the ball well in the air and then finished the run after the catch. And, you know, that's just being rewarded for your hard work. Josh Malone comes out every single day and works exceptionally hard. And when we talk about the volume of repetitions that we're asking of our wide receivers, Josh is up there with the repetitions all year. He hasn't missed one rep of practice all year. He's there every day, and he has that internal drive to be great. And you can see just the maturation and the progression from year one to year two. And we talk about it every single day with him. But, you know, we don't set specific goals. We need X amount of big splash plays. We need momentum plays. And now on our call sheet, we have a special category for momentum plays and things that we need to call.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a good day.